Hello there, folks. I'm Dan Brown from Sort of Interesting, and today you're joining me for a quick 6 mile walk up and down the racecourse, setting out from the Gun in Oswestry Town Park. That's the route for anybody who's really curious, but don't worry about that because what we really want to see today is all of this sort of scenery. And my goodness me, you're going to see some very varied weather conditions in this video, I promise you. Now just make sure for this early stage you enjoy the sun and the greenery as much as possible. So basically this video is going to follow one of the routes that I have travelled, as I've said in many videos over the years, quite literally hundreds of times. And over the last decade or so, these are the sort of places that I've spent a huge amount of time out playing in the great outdoors basically. So we've literally just walked out of Oswestry, past Oswestry School and up Broomall Lane, and then just cut into the fields of the Lamforder estate basically. So here you can see it's just what you expect, little rolling hills, and we're going to go through the actual ruins of Lamforder Hall now. And considering that there's basically nothing really left here, there's only really the walls of the old walled garden. And apart from that, this is about as substantial as you get. To say that once upon a time a grand old mansion sat on this site, and now it's just literally a few piles of stones and bits of rubble. And again, a tremendous sort of sad sort of place to really think about what it could have been and what sort of life the building could have had for generations to come in different circumstances. I've got a video which I'll post the link to in the description of a proper closer look at some of the fascinating little bits and pieces around here, because there's all sorts of curiosities on the back sides of these walls and that. So really, as I say, I just wanted in this video to take you on a proper tour over the full little route that I used to do. So this is only a 6 mile route, and I will show you in a moment just to look at an Ordnance Survey map and how many different routes and paths and little lanes there are that cut through this area, and just how much you can go down these totally different separate diversions and paths and almost do a very similar walk, yet not see the same paths for a good distance of the perimeter of your trip. So you can see as we then started to cut straight uphill to get towards the top of the racecourse, which once upon a time was literally a racecourse for horses, you start to get the views panning out into the distance over a very, very flat looking Shropshire. We're here on the very edge of where the hills of Wales start to begin. I think we're still just on the English side of the border here, but not by very much. And I love these little areas with like the footpaths and the little bridges across the streams and stuff. This is what I always describe, as many of you may know, as the Lord of the Rings sort of places, the proper sort of the Shire from The Hobbit or something of that nature. Just real beautiful little traditional scenes like this. And my goodness me, over the years, as I say, I have trodden these routes in all kinds of weather, and just this particular trip alone I trod in all kinds of weather. So this is the sort of thing that me and my friends have done for a long while, just meet up once or twice a week and just head out randomly, seeing where we end up. I mean, this wasn't the particular route that I planned to follow today while I was filming, but it was the route that we followed and what we wanted to go on, so just go with the flow, and that's what it's all about really. So here is where people from the Oswestry area may start to really recognise this general place as the very top of the racecourse, a popular walking and dog walking sort of area. So you've got all the woods here and all sorts of bits and pieces, a very big sort of open area to go off wandering in, which you will see right now. Here's the local Ordnance Survey map. So all of the green dotted lines are public footpaths and rights of way, and none of these roads here are particularly big. I mean, the yellow ones are really proper rural, and there's some that aren't even sort of properly listed on the map. But just looking in the green wooded area there, I mean, you've got what's that? At least 3 paths, sometimes 4 paths, all next to each other, cutting through hardly any distance away. So that's how you can start to build up these great varying walks and routes, and again, why I love this area so much. So, as me and my friend were here, sat having a little rest on top, would you believe it started snowing, and all of the sun just vanished for probably 10-15 minutes, and it just snowed on us. So of course that almost threatened to destroy the view down to Oswestry, which I promise you Oswestry would normally be there somewhere in the middle distance. But it took, again, only a matter of maybe minutes for it to suddenly clear up. And here you are, you can see like just about the houses of Oswestry down there. So this is now walking down the back racecourse lane to come back to the waterworks and stuff, which are here. And all of this stuff is part of the massive expansion that's been going on recently over the last few years. Just huge earthworks and updating all of the general system there. Again, don't ask me about anything technical like that. Here's an old abandoned house barn. It's a very creepy place. I just wanted to throw these night shots in to show how creepy it is. And again, I've been up in these places with different people over all sorts of times over the years. And again, some really crazy, random, stupid stuff in the dark sometimes. So cut past there and then joined onto this place called Muddy Lane, which as you can see is literally just a stream. And in the winter, this literally just flows with water. It's unbelievable that it's considered a public right of way. But it leads you literally just right back into Oswestry. So you can walk about 10 minutes up and down there and go from practically being in the park to the middle of nowhere and then back again. So thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you've enjoyed this quick look around and one of my favourite little routes around the outskirts of Oswestry. Please do consider checking out my other videos. I've got loads more stuff like this. And please do consider checking out my short boat life books. You'll find links to those in the description. And well, until the next time, just have a fantastic day. Keep it interesting, keep it boot worthy. And of course, my friends, farewell.